Hi everyone! Today I'm going to be making a pork and a potato curry samosa. So I'm going to start off with my filling, and I've started to heat up a pan, which I'm now going to add some oil. And I'm going to start off with my pork. So I have some minced ground pork, and I'm going to start off with cooking that in our frying pan. So I'm going to be cooking the pork until it is brown and fully cooked. I'm going to add in my onions and a bit of curry right now. So we're just going to make a nice balance onto the pan. And we're going to add in our onions. We're going to stir that in, and then we're going to add some curry. So it's nicely getting cooked all the way through, making sure all of the ground pork is fully cooked. Okay, so now we're going to add our curry. We're going to stir that in so that everything can get nicely coated with the spice. And then we're going to let this cook for a while until we are able to add in our next ingredients. So now that we have our onions with the curry and the ground pork nicely cooked, we have prepared some small pieces of potato. I have washed them, cut them, and boiled them before I prepared the ground pork. So now we can add those in so we don't have to cook for that long because they're already cooked themselves. So now we're adding in the potatoes for the filling. And then once we cook these for about another 10 minutes, I will take them off the heat, and then we will add in our next ingredients. So now that we have the ground pork, potatoes with the curry and onions cooking for about 10 minutes with the pork by itself, and then an additional 10 minutes with the added potatoes, we now can turn off our heat, and we can take off the filling off of the burner. And what we're going to do now is add in our fresh spices. So we're going to add in some coriander. I've chopped up some fine coriander. We're going to mix that into the filling so it can add additional flavor. And then I got a dried 7 spices, so I'm going to add that also into the mix. So we're just going to pinch some, just enough. And then I'm going to mix that all up, and then our filling is now complete. I'm going to let it cool down, and then I'm going to start doing my samosa wraps. So it's nicely cooked and a nice flavor. It's all mixed up. And we're going to now let it cool down, and then it'll be ready to fill in our samosas. So now that our filling has cooled down, we're ready to start making our samosas. I purchased a pre-made samosa pastry, which is very easy to use. It's a long strip of the pastry dough, and what I will do is I will start off with a little bit of the filling until I can get my triangle, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little pouch so that I can stuff some more of the filling inside, and then I'm going to fully wrap it. We have some egg here that we are going to be using to close off the pastry so that it doesn't open up when it bakes. So let's get started. So I've started off with some of the filling. So I'm going to add some of the egg onto the border so that I can close off that section. And then I'm going to make one more fold, and then I'm going to be able to fill it a little bit more. So we now have our samosa, like kind of like a cone shape. So then I can add more of the filling inside so that they're nicely full. I'm going to add some more of the egg onto the pastry, and then I'm going to close it off. So we're going to keep them as our triangles, and then I'm just going to close it off. So it's nicely closed off with the egg, and it has a nice filling inside of the samosa. And then once we have a complete tray, I'm going to bake them in the oven. So our samosas have been in the oven for about 15-20 minutes. I'm going to check on them to see if they're ready. So they are now completely done. The good thing is we had the filling cooking for prior to filling the samosa, so we know for sure that the fillings are completely cooked, and because of the samosa pastry was quite thin, it was easy to bake it into the oven. So if you like this recipe and you want to see more like this, please subscribe to our channel. Hit that share, like, and that bell notification button.